What's up, guys? My name is Riley. This is my buddy Wyatt,
And-
and welcome to chimicomics.
And today we're going to be reviewing, in our Read and Tell series, the first appearance of Damian Wayne, as well as Batman's Son of the Demon.
Right. His first appearance is in,
The first appearance is in
Son of the Demon, but we're talking about Batman and Son also.
Yeah.
The graphic novel Batman and Son comes with some other stories like the Black Glove, and there's some weird computer generated Joker story that we're not going to cover.
Not doing
But we're just covering the 4-issue little story of Batman and Son. In that story, Batman first meets Damian. He didn't even know he had a son until he meets his, what was he, 8? His 8-year-old son?
Yeah, his 8.
And so...
And it was separate, though, between the storyline, Son of the Demon and this one were separate.
Right. So we weren't officially going to cover Son of the Demon, but I decided we should probably read it because it's technically his first appearance. So we'll talk about that pretty briefly. I think it's worth covering a little bit.
It's definitely a cool story.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. So what are your thoughts on Batman and Son?
Well, I can understand why people don't like Damian so much.
Yeah.
Because
Oh, huge Damian fan, by the way.
he gets better.
He gets better. Before today. I'm just picking.
No, I still like Damian, but I mean, you can understand why he's like that. Because I mean, he's a spoiled brat. His mother, all she was in his life was training him to kill.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, he was raised by a League of Assassins, and in their way, if someone's in your way, like up the ladder or as your enemy, you just kill them, and you take their place. And Damian, he does that a lot, and he tries to do that when he shows up in the Batcave, and he nearly succeeds.
Let's not get too much into
Let's not
spoilers
get too
yet.
much.
So how would you rate the story?
Well, it's his first appearance and his just first sauntering onto the stage. It's like a Race hurts it, because I'm a huge Race dude. So on the enjoyment scale, 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10?
9
Okay.
out of 10.
I would go maybe an 8. A lot of stuff happened that was kind of out there and didn't really... I don't think it really added to the story of him meeting his son. It was some really wonky story.
Yeah.
And the ending was kind of like, what?
You're right. I'm going to change
really
mine to a
understand.
7 now that you're
Okay, then.
Yeah, 7. Because the narrative is the most important, because I'm more of a novel guy myself.
But the art was good.
Art was very good.
Art was good. It was on point. Andy Kubert does this. And Grant Morrison's the writer. He's a pretty well-known and renowned writer for comic books. But either you love him or you hate him, really. He's very polarizing as a writer. And he kind of goes off the rails a lot. Like, he has some out there ideas.
Yeah.
If you read some more work by him, you'll realize that as we go along. But yeah, we'll just get into Son of the Demon. Just talk about it.
Let's talk about that.
So, what Son of the Demon is? It's a 80-page story. It's not canon, which means it doesn't have repercussions in the DC universe. Everything that happens doesn't officially happen in DC Comics, but it's kind of like DC has a lot of stories called Elseworlds stories, and I guess you could kind of group that into that, because it doesn't technically connect to the rest of the comics. You probably didn't know that when you were reading it.
Well, I mean, I figured when I started Batman and Son, because, I mean, from the ending of Son of the Demon and Batman and Son, it was like, well, that doesn't make no sense. They're probably separate. Probably it didn't happen.
Yeah. So, in Son of the Demon, we find that Batman has to team up with Ra's al Ghul and the League of Assassins to stop this guy who's...
Kane.
Yeah, well... How did they spell it? It was really weird.
Q-A-Y-N, it's...
Yeah.
Quain.
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 We'll just call him Quain.
Bruce Quain.
No. The art, I like the art. I don't remember who
It
drew
reminded
it.
me of Silver Age,
Okay.
but more like updated Silver Age.
If you've read Dark Knight Returns by Frank Miller, it's pretty much just like that. The colors and even the sketching is pretty spot on. I'm surprised it wasn't Frank Miller, honestly. It looked just like him. So I enjoyed that part of it. And honestly, I've never heard of the writer either, but he told a pretty good story.
I liked it.
It was like non-characteristic of Batman in a few parts, but it was still good. I enjoyed it.
And it was a race center story, and I always like race.
Yeah,
So.
I know you do.
Yeah.
He had to team up with Raish and became his second in command.
Yeah, and by doing so, the hand of his daughter. So he got married to Talia.
Well, he was already married to her.
Oh, yeah. They didn't have a ceremony, and it was just one-on-one, him and her. And she said in their culture, only the bride needs to...
So they were husband and wife. Yeah. And
they moved
she's
on
like,
to other
just
things.
let loose, beloved.
Let loose, beloved.
And then they, do the thing, and then...
Crunk, do the thing.
I'm pregnant.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, that's wonderful.
I'm gonna be a father.
The thing I did not like, and I don't honestly don't know how Batman will react to having a child, but immediately his response is to take Talia out of everything.
Yeah.
Everything that'll put her in danger. He won't let her fight. He says, no, you're carrying our child. You stay here. I'll do the thing. I will save the day.
I can see it, though, because he doesn't want the kid.
Oh, I understand it.
Right?
I just don't understand why Batman would just flip like that, Because, like, he lets everybody fight. For crying out loud, he lets 11-year-olds fight in tidy whities.
Yeah, you're right there. I feel like it would have been better if he let her fight that particular moment, but then when it was over, he would say, no, you need to go. You're carrying our child.
Yeah. And, like...
Because it's not just her getting wounded that's the threat. I mean, her flipping around, doing all these acrobatics. Probably not good.
Yeah, but, like, it's not like she's 3 months pregnant and you can see it and there's, like, a baby in there.
True,
it's,
true.
like, not even developed at all yet. But, yeah, they fight Kane. Batman wins, of course. It's like a doomsday type story where they're trying to stop all these nukes and everything.
Yeah. It's also a G.I. Joe, Weather Dominator.
Yeah. Make it rain.
Yeah, make a hurricane over Moscow.
Oh, yeah. There's a hurricane.
Mr. Gorbachev's like, if that hurricane gets within 100 miles, Mr. President, then I hope we can talk later.
We will consider this an act of war.
Yeah.
I hope that we will speak again.
Yeah. Ready the missiles. Cold War era.
Yeah. It was cool, though.
It was.
I like that part of the story. Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
Mr. Gorbachev, we did not cause that hurricane.
I swear.
I swear, it was not us.
It wasn't us.
We may have funded it and launched it. It was not us. It's got that birthmark.
But anyway, the only thing that matters about this story is what happens to Batman's baby. And they kind of... Oh, Talia says that she lost the baby, but she really didn't. She just told him that so that he would go fight. He was going to just take her and leave to keep him safe. He said, I want my child to have two parents who love him or her and to grow up with their parents. So he was just going to take her and run and not fight at all.
And she knew that the world still needs a Batman.
Well, yeah. And she wanted him to fight with Raish also. And so she tells him that she lost the baby, and then it cuts to 9 months later after the whole conflict is resolved, and there's a baby at the doorstep
of an orphanage,
yeah.
And it's in the basket is this beautiful diamond necklace that he gave Talia. I'm pretty sure it was Martha's.
No.
It wasn't. It was just a gift.
Yeah, just some necklace. I don't know. So that's that's the end of that story. It just ends with the baby,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, that's cool, and you never see it again
Yeah.
because that was in the '80s, and this story takes place in like what '06, I think, is when it was put out.
Yeah.
So no one did anything with it because the story wasn't canon. I think they did a couple other stories that weren't canon with like Batman's son, but it's like it's nothing like what Grant Morrison did in this story, and it wasn't a character that carried through the years and is still a main character in DC today. Damian Wayne is a pretty big deal now. A lot bigger of a deal than we thought that he would be.
Yeah, because it was almost Jason 2.0. Everyone would vote to kill him.
I'm sure if they put up that vote, people would have
Yeah.
voted for it when he was first coming around. I like him now.
Yeah.
All right, so this is the cover of Batman 655. Is it 5? 655. We'll go with that.
Yeah.
It'll go through 658, so that's 4 issues.
Pretty fast reads.
Oh yeah, these read really easy.
Yeah, better than a day.
There's not a lot to read, honestly. It's a lot of just looking at the art. It's not so wordy like some of the things we've read.
Yeah. Hush, that glass conversation with the Riddler.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that whole 2
Yeah,
pages.
that should have been a novel.
Yeah.
I liked it.
So the story opens with Gordon falling from the sky, laughing like the Joker. He's been hit by some Joker toxin.
Laughing gas.
Whatever.
Isn't that what it's called? I have no idea.
I
But it
guess.
sounds like it.
Probably.
Sounds Joker.
But Joker's holding this Batman. It's not really him.
Apparently.
It's actually a deranged cop who just wants to kill the Joker, I guess. But he shoots him. I guess he didn't die for some reason. He must have just grazed his head.
Like that courier back in Good Springs. That's a
But
reference somebody
Batman is holding Joker, and he just throws him in the
This
dumpster.
bitch empty.
Yeet! That was a funny
Yeah.
part. I was like, what?
It's where you belong, dirtbag.
Then you got this scene with Commissioner Gordon is still affected, and he's saying crazy things like, oh, did you see that beheading?
Yeah.
That was great.
How'd they get it around his man's neck? It's so big.
Yeah. So, yeah, the opening is kind of strange.
Was it the conclusion of another story?
Mm-mm.
It wasn't. This is just
No.
straight.
Just opens up like that.
Okay.
I think it's pretty cool.
So anyway, he after finishing up with Gordon, while he's going crazy off this stuff, tells him how he's cleaned up Gotham. There isn't really anyone doing anything right now, so he should just take a vacation. And Alfred agrees, so he decides to go to a charity event in London,
Mm-hmm. Something about
keeping up his image.
the thing was like some kind of African art show or something, right?
Yeah, and like all the art was like comic book art. But he goes and does that with Alfred telling him to go keep up his reputation as a playboy and to basically get laid. So, so he does.
He has to like keep practicing his Bruce Wayne voice
Yeah,
because he keeps
'cause-
talking with a growl.
Yeah. Alfred's like, too gravely, Master Wayne.
It's ridiculous.
He keeps walking away from all these women. He's like, I'm sorry, my butler is the only one who knows how to use a phone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was at the time when they were just flip phones and
Yeah.
stuff. You know, not nobody, but not many people just walked around texting all the time.
Yeah.
It's understandable for the time.
For the time. Well, he is Bruce Wayne, though. He's got that big supercomputer. You'd think he'd know how to use a phone.
Well, he does, but it's not his supercomputer. It's Batman's supercomputer. So we have this scene where we see Kirk Langstrom, the Man-Bat, and his wife has been kidnapped by these terrorists, the League of Assassins.
Yeah,
of
and
course.
they've injected her with something, or they're going to, that'll leave her pretty much a vegetable that's in pain and dumb the rest of their life.
So that's pretty terrible.
Yeah, not good.
And they want the Man-Bat serum so they can inject it into their soldiers. So
Yeah, man-bats.
Man-Bat assassins.
Man-bat ninjas.
Yeah. Which is kind of cool. You got these giant bat dudes flying around with katanas. I dig it.
I prefer just normal ninjas. I mean, it's
All right.
not for me.
You don't like flying ninjas?
I don't like flying Batmen. It's just ridiculous.
I know, that's what makes it so great.
I know. It's like in Halo, instead of Master Chief, they do all this stuff. Here, let's make him a bat.
Well, they're strong. They're really strong bats.
They still get punched out by Batman.
I mean, that's true.
Yeah. All these people with super strength doesn't really do them much
They were
good.
some of Talia's best soldiers, too, right?
Yeah, and he just took them out.
Yeah. Because he's Batman, duh.
Yeah, of course.
You knew that was going to happen.
I know, yeah.
But anyway, Batman wins again.
Because he's Batman.
Because he's Batman. And he meets up with Talia.
And she just comes out and says the race is dead. And, oh yeah, we have a son. So, here you go. And then she just takes off in her wondrous submarine.
Yeah. Well, Batman was actually defeated by one of the bats because he beat 6 of them, and then more showed up, and he fell into some glass thing and was knocked out, and then he wakes up at some dock. Here is where things get different from the Son of the Demon story.
Yeah, because in this, he didn't get married with Talia and do the deed. He was drugged by Talia and date raped, pretty much.
Yeah, I guess, kind of.
Yeah.
And then she got pregnant, had the baby. I think
they genetically modified it.
Yeah, they don't tell you in this story, but Damian was actually put in a tank for most of the pregnancy, so they could modify him, make him genetically superior in every way. And so she didn't actually carry him for very long, like they make you think.
And she's also not like a mother from you'd expect from the other story, because with her and Batman, she just pretty much all she does is teach him how to kill.
The Son of the Demon story, Talia is much more loving and motherly, I guess you'd say, than she is in this story. But that's 2 completely different writers. I like both, so either way, it doesn't matter to me. I like this story, and I like the other story too. So Grant Morrison changes it up, which he has every right to do because the other story isn't canon.
Yeah.
He decided to take that story and make it canon halfway. So I appreciate him doing that and making his own story out of it and putting a spin on it, So he finds out he has a son. Here he is. And his first words are, "Father, I imagined you taller."
Yeah.
So right there, you can tell that this kid's going to be a handful.
He's a punk.
He's definitely a punk. And first thing he does is take him to his bat cave.
One of the things
I love this.
I watched the animated series movie of this, and one of the recurring jokes that aren't in the comics is they're leaving, and Damian's, "Oh, the Batmobile, I'll drive." "No, you won't." "I know how." "No, you won't." And this happens throughout.
So, I love the spread of the Batcave.
Yeah,
this is one of my favorites.
Your lucky penny, sir.
Yeah. Every artist worth his salt, in my opinion, has done this. This Batcave spread. Capullo did it. Jim Lee did it. There's probably several others that I'm not naming that I can't think of right now. But this is Andy Kubert. He's also a very good artist, in my opinion. He's definitely in my top 10, at least. And you've got Damian. All he wants to do is fight Batman the whole time. He's just like, "Fight me. I want to beat you."
Yeah.
And it's like he has this game with his mother where he's like, "Oh, I have to beat my mother, and Batman's going to help me because he's my father.
Yeah.
We'll team up and beat her." It's like It's like a game of tag or something you play with your parents.
Except with death.
Yeah, when you kill people and blow things up.
Except for dance.
And like he's still a child, but he cusses and he kills, he maims people.
Yeah.
And
he's been trained his whole life by the League, so I mean he's a good fighter. Like that's one of the things about his Robin.
Batman is the only person that could handle this kid.
Yeah.
And do something with him, you know? Like nobody could do something with Damian. Like he wouldn't respect them. There's one point where Batman is trying to talk to him calmly, and then eventually he's like, "Enough!
You have disrespected your sensei!"
Yeah. And he meets Tim,
Yeah.
and the first thing he does is just talk crap to him.
Yeah, that reminds me of a panel in one story where in the future, he still doesn't like Tim. He's like, "Oh, is that Tim? Oh no, it's just some poor bastard who looks like who's as ugly as Tim."
Yeah, here's the part where Batman gets really mad. He yells at Damian, and he's like, "Yes, father." That's the first time he's been shut up probably in his whole life.
Yeah.
But then we cut to this loser called the Spook.
Yeah.
I've never even heard of him outside the story.
And he has his.
Honestly, he's probably one of those old 40s characters that they brought back.
His henchmen are dressed like ghosts, but with like a sheet, like a bed sheet,
like classic Ghost,
just armed with assault rifles.
Oh man!
So he's like kidnapped the mayor, and Batman shows up, and one of the henchmen is a police officer in disguise. So Batman saves him, but he shows up, and the Spook has been beheaded.
Yeah, he's like, what happened to his head? And then they cut back to the Batcave, and Damian is talking crap again
To Tim,
and then he's like, "You know what? I fought crime tonight.
Yeah.
See?" Then you got this crazy Damian holding a head
with a grenade.
Grenade in his mouth.
It reminds me, Brick, where'd you get that hand grenade? I don't know.
I've read the story once before, but I did not remember him holding that severed head like this. I opened it and I was like...
And Tim's, of course, he's freaked the heck out.
Oh yeah, he throws the head at him, pops the grenade, and throws it at him, and then it just blows up. Tim's like, "What the heck?" And they start fighting, and then Damian, like... They're fighting on top of the T-Rex, and Tim's like, "You need to get up here before the jaws close," and he helps him up. And then Damian, of course, punches him with some spiked knuckles and knocks him out. He falls like 3 stories.
Yeah, he falls.
Batman comes home and finds Tim lying there in the shattered glass, and then the trunks are thrown on the ground. But that's after Damian shows up wearing the old Robin suit. I think it's Jason's suit, because that's the only one I could think of that would be in the case.
Yeah, it's just the tunic over the white and black outfit he was wearing.
So that right there automatically makes me hate the crap out of Damian, because this is like, when Jason died, that left a huge scar on Batman, and he's got that suit in a case by itself, and it reminds him to
be better.
Yeah, you put it, that was pretty good. To be better. Very well said.
Naturally.
Oh my gosh. And him desecrating that and wearing it and saying, "I'm the new Robin in town."
This town ain't big enough for the two of us.
Like, he's doing all the wrong things, you know? It's bad enough that he's Batman's son and he can just come in and be Robin. But, like, to do it like that and have no respect, you know, that's one reason why everybody hates Damian. Not everybody. A lot of people hate Damian is because he's Batman's son and he thinks he's entitled to all of this. When all of the other ones...
He's got Batman privilege.
Yeah, when all of the other Robins were adopted kids that he wanted to mentor, and they kind of earned his trust and respect and love, but he just comes in and acts like a piece of crap, and he still gets to be Robin, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But Batman decides that the only way to keep this kid in control, and not like just killing everybody, is to just take him with him on patrol and things. He's like, you know what, you just gotta come with me and I'll keep a closer eye on you there.
Because we see what he's done to Alfred. He locked him in another room.
Yeah, I think he knocked him out.
Yeah. A few cuts and bruises. Batman also manipulates him a little bit because he says, I'll tell you where Talia is if you take me out. And he's like, I already know where she is. The blindfold you were on had adhesive on it, so I found some kind of dust. He's like, but wait, you don't know where she's going. I know where she's going. She's going to Gibraltar. See, I'm useful, Father. Please love me.
I mean, he is 8.
Yeah.
So it makes sense.
Yeah, he's easy.
Yeah.
Next scene is, how are we gonna get there? I mean, not even the fastest jet will get there.
Oh yeah, we won't get there in time. Well, I've got a bat rocket.
Yeah, I'm Elon Musk.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Bat X.
And then Batman's like, all right, we're going to jump from 25,000 feet and pull our chutes at 1,000. And he's like,
I did my first Halo jump
when I was this tall.
Yeah.
Of course you did, Damian.
Well, he climbed a mountain when he was 4, too, with a broken arm, apparently. Yeah, then we see...
The Man-Bats are taking over this country.
Well, it's not a country. It's a part of Britain. It's like part of Spain, but it's a peninsula type owned by Britain, and they have a garrison there. So the British Army is fighting off the Man-Bats.
History lessons with Wyatt.
I love history.
Yes, you do.
We should do a history podcast.
Oh, gosh. So, Batman shows up and, like, this jacked ninja takes the Man-Bat serum. You're like, oh, man, this guy's going to be really tough. Yeah. I can't wait to see him. The first thing Batman does is land on him.
Yeah. Just, well, bam.
Love that part. And they start fighting.
Damian shows him. He's like, look, mother. Look at me. I'm killing people.
Look, I foiled your plans. Look at me. And she's like, oh, no, you didn't, darling.
Yeah.
I knew you would be here.
You're following
it's
my
just weird.
plan. Yeah.
But they fight, and Batman's just like, man, what the heck is going on?
Yeah. He's like, you know you're not going to win. I told the British Army anti-Man-Bat tactics, and the British Navy's about to blow you out.
They're about to launch some torpedoes. Yeah. It's like, we don't have time for this. We need to get out of here. And she's like, oh, but just convince me one last time to be good, and we will rule the world.
Yes, we'll fight crime together. The League will fight crime with you.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
Like,
that is a cool thought, though. Batman with the assets of the League fighting crime.
Yeah, but it makes this whole scene
doesn't make sense.
Makes you think, like, what did he ever see in Talia?
Yeah.
In the first place, you know? Yeah, it's just a really cringy scene, honestly. But she's like, your move, and then the torpedoes hit.
Yeah, and she's like, all right, Damian, choose your father or me. And he's like, I'd rather we all just stay together as a family.
Yeah.
But then they blow up.
So it ends with him holding Damian's cloak thing that he was wearing with the Robin suit. Yeah, it's a really abrupt ending, but it leads to more. If you want to keep going with that, we can at some point.
Yeah.
Because there's some more good Damian stories that come after this. Not this next Joker story. It's weird.
With the 3D.
I just want to show the viewers this weird computer-generated art with pages of text. Like, it's... I don't understand what they were going for here. But that was a thing.
Yeah, a thing we're not going to talk anymore about. We're going to forget about that.
Overall, when you look at Grant Morrison's run on Batman, it is one of the most important runs. A lot of stuff happens, and a lot of stuff that carries over to more stories from other writers. like Damian. That's Grant Morrison.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have Damian without him. They didn't even name that kid Damian in that story.
Yeah,
Batman
was gonna name it Thomas if it was a boy and Martha if it was a girl
Yeah.
after his dead parents.
Yeah, I'm really glad they didn't do that.
I am
because he would not be worthy of the name of Thomas.
What if it was a girl? Every time someone said his name, why did you say that name? Dad, that's my name. You named me this. Oh, all right. We're best friends now. Let's kill Doomsday.
Yeah. If you want to, we can totally do more stories because there's a lot of good stuff in here. And this is just volume 1. There's 2 more coming.
A lot.
Just so you know. Anyway, that's the story. A lot of crazy stuff happens, but I mean, we get some introduction to Damian Wayne. He's not a good character yet, but he's will
got
be.
Lots of growing to do.
Yes, he does. Lots.
But I mean, Batman, he's a good influence. Well, not a good influence. I mean, he punches people for a living, but I mean, you know what I'm talking about.
He's a great influence for Damian.
For Damian, yes.
Yeah.
Others not so much.
My gosh, I can't believe you cut that guy's head off.
Yeah. Stuck a grenade in his mouth.
Exploding head.
I fought crime tonight. Why did you do that? Oh, you know.
That's a gross drawing to his face.
Yeah. At least it wasn't dripping with blood. Damien at least had the courtesy to drain it.
They probably couldn't do that because of the rating.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
Hope you guys enjoyed. I know we did.
Yeah. We love hanging out.
Yeah. So that's Batman and Son. Also a little Son of the Demon bonus for you. That's a really good story. I would recommend reading that. You can get it for $2 at Comixology, so I would go for it. But yeah, that's the story. Leave a like and subscribe.
Maybe even a comment.
Yeah, I'd love to hear what you guys think of the story, or if you think that we left something out. Any of that stuff. Whatever you want to say. Anyway, have a good one. See you next time.